We kick it off with a wrestling crowd shot. Now, I'm actually not sure exactly where these sequences were filmed.
If you listen closely in the opening scene, there's like the announcer he's talking about. If you have a magazine autographed by Wildman Wilson or whatever the fuck his name is, then you win tickets to something. But then you can hear people, like yelling things out. And I'm pretty sure you can hear a lady yell out, "Kick his ass."
I hope Wildman Wilson was the previous life of Mr. Wilson from Home Improvement.
Oh,
but he would have worn a mask though. You see, hey.
See, I thought Mr. Wilson was from Dennis the Menace. The guy from Home Improvement, his first name was Wilson, so it was Mr. Wilson something. I'm
calling it that he was a wrestler before. If we're talking about character backstory, let's talk about character backstory.
Wildman Wilson. Oh, before he moved in next door to the
Taylors, yeah,
to the Taylors,
yeah, absolutely.
He was Wildman Wilson.
Wilson.
Man. Tim Taylor never knew. He never knew the whole time they lived next to each other for several seasons.
If we ever get Richard Kahn or Tim Allen on the podcast, I'll be sure to ask them.
To ask them the real tough questions.
Yeah, and then they can piss off. I just want to ask them that one question.
So listen, was the character Wilson based on Wildman Wilson from the failed tag team pilot? Obviously, it must have been.
We'll move right along from that little factoid.
Yeah, they start out at the event, and the wrestlers, Tricky Rick McDonald and Billy the Body Youngblood,
yes,
they're in the back room, and the scene opens up on Tricky Rick McDonald giving Billy the Body Youngblood an abdominal stretch, which basically just goes to show that move doesn't do anything, because he's giving it to him to stretch out his back.
Well, that's the interesting thing about this opening scene, is that then we get this smarky 10-year-old kid. This is 1991. Yeah. This smarky little 10-year-old kid, he sneaks under the bleachers and backstage to go get his program signed or something, right? And then he basically attempts to repackage Billy and Rick right there.
Hey, what happened to the Lizard Brothers?
The Lizard Brothers are ancient history. All those green scales, the ears, it just wasn't us.
You guys got an image problem. Wrestling's more than just strength and moves. It's down to a marketing science now, guys. Think about it. Andre the Giant, without the name, it's just some tall guy.
You guys, it's all about marketing these days. Andre the Giant, without the giant part, he's just some big guy. And I'm like, fucking little cheeky little cunt. Like, the funny thing about this is that then when the promoters... Is he the promoter or is she the promoter, or what's the go there?
He's the owner of the organization, probably the promoter, and she's like his wife. She said his devoted wife.
Who's just there to manipulate.
Exactly. What is her deal? Why is she trying to manipulate the whole thing?
It's interesting because it's like everybody else knows that wrestling's fake except for Billy and Rick, and it's like their characters. They don't. Yeah, they aren't in on it. No one's smarting them up.
They totally package this whole show, or the wrestling in the show, as legitimate. Fighting. Like, they're so like, weird. You don't understand. We always fight to win, or we always wrestle to win. And she's like, no, you don't understand. You're going to throw the fight.
But he's saying it to that no one's smarting them. I think it's fucking weird. It's really interesting. So yeah, Leona is the promoter's wife, played by the very sexy Shannon Tweed, who has been in many B-movie, sort of softcore adult film back in the 80s, and basically asks, the lads to take a dive. Jesse and Roddy, they insist, as you said, they always fight to win, and this is just, we'll roll that.
Excuse me, boys. May I have a word with you?
Sure, Mrs. Lewis.
Oh, please call me Leona. After all, we're all friends, aren't we? Tonight's not your night, boys.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, I doubt that you could beat them anyway. I just want to make sure the Samurai Brothers win tonight and you lose.
I think you got the wrong idea. Rick and I have a good shot at the title soon. We've always wrestled to win. And we always will.
No, you have the wrong idea. You lose tonight, or you lose permanently. You'll never wrestle again.
Marty will have something to say about that.
That won't matter to Marty. You know how jealous he can be when he finds out you two have been making advances towards me.
That's a lie.
And who do you think Marty's going to believe? A couple of wrestlers or his devoted wife?
Mrs. Lewis. Leona. Come on, you wouldn't do that, would you?
Wouldn't I? Ask Tyrone the Terrible.
Tyrone? He's been barred for life. He can't even get near a wrestling ring.
Then I think we understand each other, gentlemen.
And at 2:37, Bowman shot. And then about somewhere, I think it's about the 19 or 29 minute mark, there is also a Bowman shot. That's always a good time. And, a while back, 90210 was screening on TV, and I used to love it when I was a kid. So I was like, fuck, this is awesome. Get to watch it with the missus and relive the 90s a bit. And sure enough, we used to play a game every show. How many times will the boom be in shot on 90210? So I always have fun playing that game because it's a total suspension of disbelief killer. Fucking right there. I always hate that. It just drives me nuts. On shows like, if it was like The Office, that's different. You know what I mean? That's a different.
Right. It's meant to
premise.
Be like,
But on a show like this, that drives me nuts. So
I know. It's like on Hollywood Babylon, they have a section, where like shit that should not be in the movies and stuff. This would be one of those things.
Yeah.
Where it's like somebody should have caught that. Just film another fucking scene. Do one more take.
That's it. So the lads head out to the ring after basically they find out that one of their fellow wrestlers was actually banished from the promotion and from wrestling because he didn't follow orders as such. So
that's right. Dance monkey.
Exactly right, the puppeteer. And their opponents are the Samurai Brothers with Mr. Saki, a.k.a. the Orient Express with Mr. Fuji. This is good because we get to actually call a match here. So we've got Billy the Body Youngblood versus Tricky Rick McDonald versus the Samurai Brothers with Mr. Saki. So here we go. Jumped from behind. It's the Samurai. Oh, go on.
What was it? The unpredictable Mr. Saki? Isn't that what they called him?
I think something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Accompanied by the unpredictable Mr. Saki.
I was half expecting the devious one, Mr. Saki, but to play on that. And it's interesting because the ring announcer, the voice is clearly Mean Gene Okerlund.
Right.
But the guy that you see in the ring is definitely not Mean Gene. No, it's not. Or they put a wig and a goofier moustache on him. But he looks about 20 years younger. So
you know what I found interesting? The little kid comes in and acts as if, in the beginning of the scene, he comes in and acts as if they're like not popular wrestlers or they're doing something wrong because they dropped their gimmick. And Leona is like, oh, see, they had at least one fan, and but then they come out and the announcer plays them up. He really puts them over, and the crowd loves them, and they hated the Samurai Brothers.
So as a promoter, you're kind of a bit of a tard if you've got these two guys that the people obviously love. And if they have great chemistry with these, foreigners, then hey, they could have a great run. But instead, no, you're too busy fucking because I can. And that's what's wrong with WWE
just
these days.
You can.
But just because you can do shit doesn't mean you fucking should. Look at TNA. That's a perfect example. And WWE's the same way because matches don't matter. And what's the fucking point? It's all so fake. So shit. I can't watch Raw anymore.
Look what happened to WCW.
Exactly.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Fucking tards. But anyway, so they jumped from behind, and the Samurai brothers, with a lot of kick punch, chokes, double teams, really working dirty here. The crowd's really hot. They're into this, as we mentioned. Tanaka misses a flying attack. Jesse is tagged in, but Mr. Saki produces the salt. There's a salt throw, and then their kendo stick is grabbed by Piper, though, so he thwarts more illegal offense, but allows a double team on Jesse. And Piper begs for the tag. He's back on the apron. He's begging for the tag. Finally, he gets the tag and runs wild, brother.
Oh, and did you hear when, right when he gets the tag, he's like, woo! When he's going in. He was stoked to get in the ring. Yeah,
they really do play on the tag team tag concept several times throughout the show here. So,
and it seems like if I'm not mistaken, it was always Jesse tagging Roddy in.
Yeah.
I don't remember Jesse ever getting tagged in. It seems like he's the one who was getting into trouble and Roddy Piper had to come and bail him out.
Yeah, you'd think Roddy would be the guy that you'd have in there with them getting the heat on, and then him, sort of, oh, come on, make that tag to the big guy, and then, you know what I mean? It's just a bit odd.
Yeah, especially since Jesse was the one who got the show first. It was like, as you heard in the audio we played for you, Jesse was the one who got the show, and Roddy came in as the second guy. So, maybe Jesse would have been the kind of the hero of the tale, and Roddy is the comedic sidekick. That might have been a good format for it.
Good point.
I don't know.
But they hit a double elbow drop for the 1, 2, 3, and Mr. Promoter, of course, is front row, of course, and gives them the guillotine sign. No more wrestling for you.
He was thrilled. He was thrilled at first until Leona whispered in his ear.
Even he was getting into it. He could feel the energy, the natural come on baby from these guys. It was just like, oh my God, he's even thinking himself, man, I guess he's got the same voice as Vince McMahon when I mimic him. Gee, we got to give these guys a raise. We got to really put them at the top of the show, So anyway, that's it for them. They're done.
Look, Billy, I'm sorry. You're sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I think we're both sorry.
And then we cut to the lads in their dingy apartment building. It's not really dingy, but you know what I mean. Compared to, I guess, the lavish office of the bad guys that we'll see in a moment. They're on a budget, these guys.
Yeah.
So
they're not rolling in the dough.
No, they're not on that flair money. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously, wrestling hasn't been, super generous to them yet.
Not yet, but, life is going to be generous to them eventually.
I think
spoiler alert. So they're contemplating the future.
Well, it will until they, as a show, get the guillotine.
Absolutely, unfortunately. Hence a pilot and not a season finale review right here on Butts in Seats. So they're contemplating their future. What are they going to do? And the next thing, they're pushing a piano upstairs. Furniture removal. That's the gig that they're going to make a crust with. So as we see in the first scene,
because Tricky Ricky always comes up with something.
I'm just a Tricky Rick. So That's me.
Actually, this scene was really funny.
It was all right. It was all right, and it played on the fact that Jesse had a bad back in the first scene. So helping pianos does not move that. His back locks up, and the piano goes flying down the stairs out the window, crushing their ute, or as you guys call their pickup truck, and ute, short for utility vehicle.
There you go.
Fucking, it's in the ute, mate. Go get it out the ute. Out the back of the ute, mate.
I'm gonna start using that.
You gotta say it in that voice though. The yeet.
Get it in the ute, mate.
Yes, there it is.
In the fucking ute, mate.
That's a bit little British, but we'll work on the twang later on. So there's got to be those one-liners, right? In a show like this. So the piano goes flying down the stairs, and the next thing it's, I think we body slammed the truck.
Yeah.
This is the best job we could get.
Hey, on short notice, I think I did okay.
Sure, you're on top.
What, you want a company car and an expense account?
On my back. It's locked.
Look out!
Rick? Yeah? I think we body slammed the truck. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great line.
So next scene, they're back at home, and they sort of think, well, hey, why don't we just open up a wrestling school? We work steady. So I like the kind of the insider references.
Do that. Champions do that. When they retire, we lost a couple.
You want a grape? No.
That's it. So Jesse decides to take charge and find a job working with women.
Yeah, how'd you like to work with women?
I think I'd really like to work with women. I think horizontally with women would be the best way to work with them. That's what he's thinking later on. I'll tell you what, he's got that fucking, hey, come on vibe. Later on, we'll see. But Piper's face lights up at the thought of that as well, and thinking it's probably... I'm calling him Piper, and then I'm calling him Rick, and I'm calling him Billy, but yeah.
That's okay. I was doing that in my notes the whole time.
Yeah, I've done that here. That's what I'm reading off my notes.
Yeah.
I've got my notes here, people. Come on, I'm not gonna... This isn't all gonna fucking stick, this stuff.
You get
know
it.
What I mean?
Piper is Rick. Jesse is Billy. And Billy has the same nickname in the show as he does in real life. Jesse the Body, Billy the Body. So
yep.
That's how you can remember it.
Piper's face lights up at the idea of working with women, thinking it's probably a gig, you know, like being a bodyguard for strippers or a bouncer at a nightclub or something like that. Nope. They're dummies for angry fat women.
Yeah.
These men are animals. They may be large, but they are vermin. They are worthless. They are weak at heart.
Billy,
They can't be
you
trusted.
call this working with women?
Careful. Protect yourselves. Don't be a victim. Use your power. They'll
That's
use
what the
you.
agency told me.
Abuse you.
Is it too late to quit?
Women of the world, defend!
How much we're getting paid for this? Not enough. Doggone lady, let go of my leg. Ow.
It was nice of that woman's group to pay us, even though we wouldn't do the second class. Nice of them not to kill us. You need anything else? No. I need some grapes. Okay.
Uber feminist, men haters.
Al Bundy's nemesis.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to explain it.
Exactly.
The opposition of no ma'am is what I have right here. So love the Bundys. So anyway, so they get beaten up by these women, and then they're off to the grocery store. Yeah. And a hold-up takes place, Brandon.
Oh, but Jesse, what's with the grapes? I feel like he was eating grapes in the scene before when they were talking about when they decided to work with women. He was eating grapes in that scene, and then he goes and he grabs like a gigantic case of grapes.
Because he's in denial that he's gotten to the wrestling school stage of his career, he has to stay regular, but he can't get over
that
the
what
fact.
it is?
You know what I mean? Like, he's just, yeah. You know?
Oh, man. And yeah, well, and for that matter, is like balding and having long hair just when you wear a bandana, because that, you know, the Hulkster did it and Jesse Ventura did it. So is that just like the thing to do?
Well, you know, I was a Navy SEAL. I mean, I like to wear a bandana. See, there's two Jesse the Body Ventura voices. There's the early Jesse where you go, oh, come on, gorilla, and then it kind of goes on like with that more of a younger but a more pronounced kind of growl. And then the older Jesse Ventura is like, the government, the CIA, conspiracy theory with Jesse the Body Ventura. You know, there's
Speaks
like
with a little bit slower cadence and deeper.
More husky, you know, more husky, a little bit more of a, you know, a weathered sort of voice box, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah, there's two Jesse voices. So if you think like, what's the deal with the two Jesse voices? That's what it is. That's how I distinguish the two. But
this is an educational podcast. We're gonna teach you how to do voices and with Professor Josh Armour.
It's fucking improv class with JD. God,
that's right.
Take a seat.
So there's a holdup at the grocery store. Piper jumps in and takes the guy out. And the guy's partner comes up behind him and he's got a gun, says, "You hurt my friend." And Piper says, "He was your friend? You should have told me. I thought you were somebody else." And he sees Jesse behind him, and so he's distracting the guy.
He's ready to pounce.
Yeah. I thought you were somebody else, much uglier, somebody much uglier than you are. And that's when Jesse jumps on the guy.
High spot.
Yeah.
And what's the deal with them? Like, because then they slam the guy, they give the guy an aeroplane spin and then slam him like sort of like fireman's carry takedown onto a display, right? Instead of like the hard floor and maybe just like knocking the guy out or, you know, halting him for now. No.
You break his fall with a nice display.
And then they slam the other guy into an even bigger display. Like after guy number one produces a gun, it heads outside. But I'm just like, my God, the lady's just standing there and she's just sort of like got like frozen, like she's completely corpsing and she's not selling it. Like she's just like frozen. And I'm thinking, I know why she's frozen, because she's thinking, I fucking worked for like 15 minutes on that display. Now you fucked it up, you cunt. Like, I know that's what she's thinking.
To put it back together.
Exactly. You could have knocked the guy out and bloody go get some cable ties.
Get fucking cable ties.
They're in aisle 8. Go and get the fucking cable ties and you'll be sorted. No, instead you ruined my display, you asshole.
They're a couple of jerks.
I'd be thinking that. Anyway. So, guy number one produces a gun. It heads outside. Remember the high flyers? They were in on 9/11.
You gotta make sure you're using the right voice.
I know that they have a swipe card for Area 51. The high flyers, I bet the Ganya did all of that stuff, you know. Anyway, so
I heard that they have Malaysian flight 237.
You know, the plane that just went down in Egypt? That was Vern. That was Vern. I'm telling you. Listen, Alex Jones, I'm starting to get to fucking Dice now. Oh, I saw Dice, by the way. First 2 episodes. Love that.
I saw the first episode. It's fucking hilarious.
Dice. Oh, my God. A cock. Your kingdom for cock. So good. Anyway, so they ran the dumpster into the oncoming car of baddies, which sends the car flying, kind of. Not quite the high flyers. And then police are on the scene. And cop number one wonders how they handled the crooks without weapons. Because, of course, yes, it's America, and if you ain't got a gun, well, you are just a weirdo.
That's right.
Cop number two fills him in, and this leads Billy and Rick to their light bulb moment. Let's become cops.
Let's be cops. This is basically that movie that just came out called Let's Be Cops. It's with the Wayans kid.
As they have this revelation, we cut to our first ad break for this program.
Here I am, a pillar of the community. And I love Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Brave adults challenge the notion that Frosted Flakes is just a kid's cereal.
In business meetings, I look around and wonder, am I the only one?
Those sweet, crunchy flakes and a splash of cold milk. What could an adult like better for breakfast?
I'm crazy about the taste. Hey, I got nothing to hide.
It's easy to see. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
So I like the Frosted Flakes commercial when it came on, and it was like a blacked out face of this guy, and his name was Dick the Congressman. That
Amazing.
was just that was all I had written down right here in the first commercial break was Dick the Congressman.
How topical this election season.
That's right.
Both here in Australia and America. So
It's a big year.
we have an election coming in like a month. So
Yeah, our election is coming in like 5 months, but it's been going for like 8 months. So America.
Oh man. They've discovered they want to be cops, and it is indeed training
That's right.
day. And the lady in charge is suspicious of their motives and, thinks it's just part of a midlife crisis sort of thing and recognizes them from the ring, though.
Oh, you mean this
And-
is like a Steven Seagal type thing where he's been a cop for 25 years? And no, not like that?
Not quite.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and Billy quips, I'm glad she follows the sport.
Right?
Bill the Bod.
Bill the Bod. Bod the Builder.
I had that in my head too. I just didn't want to.
It's okay. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm fucking 12.
Oh fuck! Oh my god! The wife the other day, she was like, "Oh, do you remember when like everyone was into Bob the Builder? You know, like it was this weird like alternative thing where like all the goth kids would have like Bob the Builder backpacks," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah, see,
anyway.
we had the same thing out here, except for instead of the goths having the little kids show backpacks, it was the drug dealers. So you would get like they would have like you'd see like some guy with a My Little Pony backpack, and you're like, oh, that guy's got cocaine, because he's got the white pony on his backpack, or whatever it was. I don't know exactly, but that was a thing out here for a while. It might still be, actually.
Yeah, I think there's some group that they call themselves the male My Little Pony.
Yeah,
fans.
the bronies.
Bronies, that's it.
Though that's a separate thing. I was talking about the guys who buy the little kid show backpacks. Anyways, Bob the Builder.
Yes.
Bill the
Bob
Bod.
the Builder. Fucking Bill the Bodder. Oh gosh, can we
stay on track? Speaking of which, the track that they're running on at the police academy, the training day.
Oh my god. Yes.
And they come up upon they are doing all these different obstacles, and they're kicking ass at it, by the way. They're doing a good job. And then they come up to a climbing wall with a rope hanging down, and they go to grab the rope, and the rope fucking goes up, and they look up, and it's that fucking dickhead black
Tyler.
dude. Yeah, is that
It's
what his
Tyler.
name was?
Yes, Tyler. That's right. Because
Yeah.
at first I thought it was Tyrone the Terrible, the one that they were talking about that got banished from wrestling. But then I thought, oh no, it's
and
Tyler.
he was the same guy. Oh, that would have been too good.
Tyrone might have been his work name though. You never know. That may be a little end that they might have tied up. You see, if they actually got to a second episode, you never know. So we cut to a parking lot, and a young lady, Rita, played by a John Hughes film type cutie, who is played by Jennifer Runyon, witnesses a double down in a car park, and two dudes get shot. You don't so much hear gunshots or hear gunshot sound effects. The sound was kind of like somebody just crushing an aluminium can.
Aluminium? Is that how you guys say it out there? Is that the common pronunciation?
Yeah, how it's spelt.
No, it's not. It's aluminum. There's no I at the end. It's N-U-M, not N-I-U-M.
Well, there must be a different spelling.
So you guys, is that how you spell it out there?
Well, that's the way that's the way it's always been pronounced here. I mean, that's just the way people say it. It's...
Huh. Interesting. The more you know. Now I will know not to come to Australia and look like a fucking idiot and say aluminum. So what does Wikipedia say?
Wikipedia says aluminium in Commonwealth English or aluminum in American English. So there you go.
Okay, so in poor stupid American, it's aluminum.
Yeah, because you guys, your education system's so poor you can't afford the extra vowel. So
we just can't.
Sorry, guys.
You know what? The bill actually went into the Congress, and we got Dick the congressman who's like, "I'm sorry, I can't afford. We're not going to pass this budget because we need more money for Frosted Flakes."
Australia goes over to America and they go on American Wheel of Fortune. Can I buy a vowel? No, you can't.
No, you can't. We don't have any vowels. This is America. There's only so many vowels and they're all being used right now.
Oh, shit. So let me get back to my notes here. And yeah, so anyway, stay tuned for more on our witness, Rita.
She comes back into play.
Back to police training ground, and their new friend Tyler, who gave them, was giving them hell before, even saying, "Hey, I didn't know the circus was in town."
Yeah, what a dick.
He's a dick, and he gets a bit of payback here, Mr. Token Black Guy, Mr. Token Dickhead. And not because he's black, just because he's a dick.
It's just because he's a dick. It's just it has nothing to do with anything except for his dickishness.
All right, Larry, I know you're listening, brother. I'm just saying.
He's a big dick, and that doesn't have anything to do with his blackness either, okay? I'm not trying to stereotype here.
That actually didn't help us.
So they run up on him on the track, and they swoop him up in their arms, and they're much bigger than this guy. Did we forget to mention that he's a lot smaller than them?
Bantamweight.
He's a tiny guy. Yeah, he's a tiny guy. And they pick him up and they run him up to a log crossover, a little pond, and they drop him in the water.
Yes, they do.
And everybody in the police training laughs at that fucking guy.
And then when they go to the firing range, not long after that, Billy informs us that he was a Navy SEAL.
I was a Navy SEAL. And then the captain, of course, says they trained you well.
Funny that. He'd be a Navy SEAL here and also a pro wrestler.
Quite a good shot. Quite a good grouping.
Billy's a great shot, and Rick hits 1 out of 4. Right. So not as handy with the weaponry, but growing up in Canada,
however, he does get the shots off a lot faster. So he comes faster, but he misses most of the time. I mean, he shoots faster.
That's probably most men out there. Am I right, fellas? I wouldn't, of course, know about that. So test day it is now. And, they're at the pad, first of all, and Rick is worried he won't pass this test coming up, this written test, and Billy quizzes him on wrestling, and then, of course, he's firing off, answers rapid fire, so he's just like, "You'll be just fine, pal." And then test day comes, and Rick uses wrestling analogies to work backwards and then find the answers. It's kind of kooky, but anyway, it's cool. Wrestling nerds out there will love it. So it works, and they passed, and are now in the force.
And they're cops now.
They're cops, and Miss Boss Lady is very impressed. She's very impressed with these two lads. We cut to the bad guy's place now. Their head honcho wants to find Rita, the witness from the car park where they took down these two dudes.
$10,000 to anybody that finds her.
That's it. And on that note, we cut to our second commercial break.
Tag Team will continue in a moment.
And the winner is...
The biggest names in music gather for the American Music Awards with the Judds, Wilson Phillips, and the Kentucky Headhunters. Plus a special tribute to Merle Haggard. The American Music Awards, Monday. Don't miss a beat.
Maybe the reason more Pittsburgh people like WTAE 4 News is that we're more like Pittsburgh people.
Good evening, I'm Sheila Hyland, and speaking of ice, a little slippery out there on the roads tonight.
We had about an inch of snow in the Pittsburgh area, a couple of inches over in the Highlands. The snow's about over, and we have milder air for tomorrow.
All right, sounds like better news. Join us for WTAE 4 News at 11.
Witness protection time it is now, and
First
Billy
day on
and
the
Rick
job.
yeah, that's it. Billy and Rick are at Rita's place with two more experienced cops, obviously, them being there on their first day. Duh. The lads go upstairs to patrol.
The veteran cops are way too fucking laid back for this shit.
Yeah.
They don't want to do anything. They're like, why don't you guys go patrol, upstairs.
They chat with Rita in her bedroom with sexy Baywatch-esque Melrose Place-esque mood lighting. It's so and then she talks about
Aaron fucking Spelling.
And then she talks about how it may as well have been fucking produced by Aaron Spelling. I tell you what, if it was picked up as a series, I bet that he would have taken the reins on that. So anyway, she ends up talking about dogs and how she manipulates other people's dogs into feeling for their dogs, and then they buy a second dog. She wants to help out lost and injured dogs. I love that. I understand that. But she's... it's like, just be honest and just say to people, hey, you want a dog?
Yep. Just get a dog.
Get a dog. They're good.
They're good. Everybody likes dogs.
Especially KD Trey. Shout out to you, sir. So downstairs, the cops answer the door to a crook disguised as a mailman. It's one of the bad guys. And now it's on. We see a cop get shot, a double clothesline off the stairs from Billy and Rick, who end up heading down, and a guy resembling Keith Hernandez going through a window. Again, they can't just fucking arrest the guy. No, they're going to destroy this house.
Yep.
You guys, stop breaking shit. It's a nice house.
Worst, yeah, they're the worst fucking guys. You're not doing your job at all.
No. They just want to beat people up. But see, I guess that's it. They've still got that habit that they need to kind of... Because to them, everything's a shoot. Everything's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So...
because they just buy into everything. We already saw what happened with the wrestling. They were all in, all or nothing. We always wrestle to win. We always fight crime to win.
So at the cop shop, it comes to light that the witness got away. Rita got away.
She got away.
That's what we find out at the cop shop, and
she escaped.
And our lads really get scolded by the boss lady.
Even though it was those fucking veteran cops, dude, those guys were total jokes. But it doesn't look good on your first day, to have a situation like that. So basically, they get the boot. Pretty much, they're on suspension, and they're real bummed about it.
They are, and you really start to feel for them.
You can tell these guys are digging it. They like being cops now.
And with that, we head to our third commercial break.
Tag Team will continue in a moment.
To celebrate 30 years of 30-minute delivery, Domino's Pizza delivers the Big 3-0. The Big 3-0. Order a large pizza at regular price and get a medium with your favorite topping for just 30 cents more. The Big 3-0. A great deal like this won't last forever, so call now and ask for the Big 3-0. The Big 3-0. It's time for Domino's Pizza Big 3-0.
In the cop shop locker room, Rick wonders if they may not be cut out for this, and Billy wants to protect Rita. and find the killers. And then it dawns on them, go to the animal shelter.
Because I think Rick says it. He says it for the second time in the show that they just need a place to belong.
Ah, there it is.
And then Billy says, yeah, we're like lost puppies. And then he's like, oh, shit. That's where they're at. That's where she's at.
Because Rita says that earlier about the injured dogs and that. Yeah, that's right. So they head to the
It was one
shelter.
of those things where it was like a domino effect of thoughts, like, oh, the fucking microphone was turned off the whole time. Yeah, and the barn was red. And the fucking bad guys are at the bowling alley. Well, now we fucking solved the whole case because we had some random running dialogue going on.
Well, I just love how Tyler decides he's going to come along for the ride, and Billy's just driving like an absolute maniac.
They got another classic line, though, before they even get into the car with Tyler, where Jesse says, why do undercover cars, look more like cop cars than real cop cars?
Yeah, that's it. Which is true. It's so true. They're always that brownie kind of...
So Billy's the one who's driving, right? And he's driving like a bat out of fucking hell.
Yeah, and Tyler's freaking out.
Not having a good time.
No.
He definitely... Because it's not even his car. It's it's like the captain's car or... something. It's somebody's
pretty
car.
Much. And Rick's been there, done that road trip.
Yeah.
It's nothing to him. But
he's
Tyler's
like,
freaking out.
Do it.
That's it. And then they end up doing the classic, like, where they like do the 180 spin and pull right into the parallel park on the curb. Yep. Like, it's just without missing a beat. But then, like, Billy gets out and he's not frazzled in the slightest. He completely no-sells it, He's just like, all right, let's go. And then they go inside and...
balls of fucking steel, this guy.
Well, he was a Navy SEAL. I mean...
There's a Navy SEAL with balls of seals. Wait, I think I got that backwards,
That was too much marijuana smoking with Jimi Hendrix back in Woodstock. I don't know if I was there, but I probably was.
Yeah, and you know who else was? The guys who did 9/11.
That's right, I smoked LSD with Osama bin Laden.
Oh, shit.
They find Rita there at the animal shelter. They convince her to go downtown.
They got to get her down to testify.
It's either downtown or uptown, wherever the cop shop is. I'm sure if Billy has his way, it'd be downtown, if you know what I'm saying, baby.
Downtown, yeah, and then uptown.
Have you ever given a blowjob to a Navy SEAL? I hear it's fantastic experience, much like LSD with Osama bin Laden.
Have you ever given a blowjob to a Navy SEAL with balls of steel?
And why did the third building of the World Trade Center go down when there was no plane anywhere near it? Which is a fucking good point, but let's not go there. So, anyway.
So they're on the way. They're getting her to the...
They're getting her to the cop shop, to the police station. That's right. They're down to the precinct, but...
guess who shows up?
Well, instead of parking right out the front, they stop and then decide to walk there. And he goes, come on, we got 3 minutes. And I'm like, for fucking 3 minutes, just park out the front and go, like... What did you pull up could you not find a park where you actually pulled out before? Is parking such a problem in your area?
If I'm not mistaken, Billy was driving and Billy was the one who says, pull over here. Even though he was driving, like he was directing the driver to pull over there. He was just, his inner monologue was outer at that point. Too much excitement. Couldn't keep it contained.
And, of course, the bad guys are on their trail. And
that's right.
Billy, Rick, and Rita and Tyler... So this big van is, like, fucking barreling towards them down this walkway. They sneak off into this little...
This black dude, who's a total dick...
Tyler.
And
let's just call him by his name, Tyler, because the more we say black dude, fuck, we're going to be in trouble, okay? So we're going to be copping hate mail. I mean, he is black. And he's a dick, but that is not... One has got nothing to do with the other. They are both just facts. fights.
Right. So this Black Tyler dude, he probably had not seen any action at all. And this was in
any fucking way. This guy is the biggest geek, but he's also a cockhead.
If I'm not mistaken, this is still the first day or like the second day, right? Because they just lost Rita. This is like the first day.
No, I'm pretty sure this is the second day. This is
the second day.
I'm guessing it's the next day.
So this is Tyler's second day too, and he probably hadn't seen any action. And then these fucking two wrestler dudes that he was trying to bully at training day just come up and rock his fucking world.
Yep.
They turn his shit upside down.
Yep. And so the bad guys, they can't see our boys because they've snuck off into this little...
They can't see our boys because John Cena was there waving his hand in front of their faces.
There it is. I get it. Okay. So Billy and Rick, anyway, end up sneaking behind, jumping off a roof and nail the three bad guys who are now out of the van with flying axe handles. And here, ladies and gentlemen, as previewed in our reboot episode, is our fight scene, possibly agented by Greg Gagne, but I cannot confirm. All I can say is, remember the high flyers?
Remember the high flyers?
Here we go, folks. All right, the wrestling moves that we see here, which are probably the only moves that I've actually noted here. You've got the Irish whip first off into a clothesline. We got a spinning front back leg kick. They're always good here on Butts and Seats.
Oh yeah,
we love those. Get a spinning front back leg in your butt. Bad guy with sand in the eyes, Mr. Saki style. And also a guy gets thrown into I couldn't keep track which bad guy it was, but bad guy gets thrown into a pole, a la a ring post, followed by a headbutt from Billy. This is a rad fight scene, just purely because of all the wrestling moves. It's different.
They get one of the bad guys in a double arm twist.
Yes, the double arm ringer.
Standing on either side of him and just fucking wrenching on his arm.
Well, that's closer to the end of this. The end of this scene. We've also got before that an Irish whip into a wall.
Oh yeah,
where the baddie turns into it and comes back with a punch. Rick, aka Roddy Piper, in this fight scene, ladies and gentlemen, executes a beautiful. Bret Hart would be proud. Much more than 4 out of 10 for this. A drop toe hold.
Nice.
A drop toe hold, ladies and gentlemen. We get a do-si-do Irish whip into a back body drop. The double arm ringer, as you mentioned, on the other bad guy.
After a big tag, Jesse was in trouble.
Of course, he was. He had the like a shovel handle or something like up to his throat.
Yep.
And Roddy, instead of actually like grabbing the shovel handle, he makes the tag, and then half a second later sorts out the bad guy and saves Jesse, aka Billy. So there's more Irish whips. One baddie down, gets thrown into the pond. Then we get maybe the funniest quote in the whole movie. The bad guys have been taken out here, disheveled, and Tyler comes along with Rita. So I don't know why Tyler didn't take her down to the police station.
He's still just standing there. You know why? Because he's like, what the fuck? This is fucking crazy. This is what being a cop is? He's rethinking the whole thing at that point.
Because there was 3 bad guys originally, and he produced a gun on one of them. So he was taken out of the equation early, you see. So did he take him down to the station and then came back to make sure Rita was okay? Which I guess makes sense. And then they found Billy and Rick. I'm going with that, just to make sense of it. Just to find the logic, okay?
Just to make it look like Tyler was actually doing his job.
No, just to make it look like the writers were doing theirs. So... Because someone's got to pull the load for these guys, 25 years later. So,
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck, 25 years, wow. So, the quote, Tyler comes along with Rita, right? Tyler, as mentioned in the reboot app, says, hey, guys, we got to book them. And Rick, of course, just goes, they're all yours! And then... we head into our final commercial break.
Tag Team will continue in a moment.
Sun-ripened raisins, Nestle milk chocolate, that's as good as it gets. I want to catch the raisiness. Catch the raisiness. Oh, yeah.
ABC Sports is your ticket to Super Sunday. On to Tampa for a pregame special, followed by the main event. The Buffalo Bills tackle the New York Giants in Super Bowl 25. It's all tomorrow on ABC Sports.
We're taking it home at the pad. Billy answers the door to Rita, who says, a deal's a deal, right? And Billy's just looking at her like, yeah?
What does a deal mean?
Thinking he's gonna...
You mean like the deal between the American government and Osama bin Laden?
I was thinking more the deal of him getting a really good sex session from this young lady, but no. Along comes her furry friend from the animal shelter who had his leg bandaged up, been in a car accident earlier on.
Looks like he's feeling better.
He's looking great. He's in great shape. Good on the little pooch. And they were tempting him. I guess she was tempting them earlier on to take the dog. He bounds into Rick's arms, and they have a new companion.
Yep.
A bit of a Turner and Hooch style open-endedness here for a possible episode 2 that never came to be.
Well, and the end of the episode, see, it had so much hope and promise. You know, they got a dog, and she says, you know, he's gonna need a name, and Rick says, I think he's already got one, and Jesse says, yeah, and then together they say, Body Slam. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Now, Billy, a deal's a deal, right?
Yeah.
What's up?
I guess he's feeling better.
Whoa, he's not hungry, is he?
You know, he's gonna need a name.
I think he's already got one.
Yeah. Body Slam.
Was your favorite soap preempted last week? Find out what happened Monday on The Home Show when Tiffany Hill and Jason Montgomery give all the dish, live from the stages of General Hospital and All My Children. Watch the Weekend Report tonight on most of these ABC stations.
This is Sheila Hyland. Coming up next on WTAE4 News, they have been forced out of their homes now for 4 weeks. And now 28 South Park Township families have to decide if they want to risk going back. We'll have that story. Join
us. So it did. It just seemed like the second episode was right there. And they had a great thing going. They had their dog Body Slam. They had their sweet gig as awesome super cops.
And then it never came to be. Such a shame. Such a shame. But hey, thank you to whoever recorded Tag Team on Pittsburgh television.
Put it on YouTube.
And then put it on YouTube for us, for all to enjoy. So
Hardcore TV Gabber on YouTube.
There we go. There we go. We'll have the link in the show notes so you can watch along. And we pan up to the wall. After they've named the pooch Body Slam, we pan up to the wall where their tag team portrait hangs, although above it, a framed print of them in their police gimmick.
Yep.
We see the director credits, Robert L. McCulloch and Bruce Sallin. There we go, the pilot episode of Tag Team. What are we going to give it? If we're going to rate this on Rotten Tomatoes, what are we going to give it?
I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a solid, mid to high 70s.
Really?
I think it was quality. I'm a nostalgia kind of guy though, so that's where I would go with it.
I think what it needed was a little more humor. It actually needed a little more humor.
I could agree with that, yeah.
Because they were going, it's this weird thing where like they obviously didn't want to show the gunshots earlier on in the car park scene, and then they showed a guy getting shot later on. They're trying not to make it too much of an adult show, but at the same time they're trying not to completely make it like a Disney Saturday morning kids TV fest. So they're trying to find a middle ground, and I think more humor would have helped to get it over that line. But instead you're sitting there going, okay, it's a bit dark, but I see what they're trying to do. And as we heard in the audio with Jesse and Roddy, that's the thing they were going for, is something that the kids could watch. So if they were wrestling fans and they knew Roddy, they could.
Here's a fun fact. I saw in the YouTube comments. Apparently at 9 minutes and 27 seconds, there's a building in the background that is Patty's Pub in That's Sunny in Philadelphia.
There you go.
Or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So I think the show might be set in Philadelphia, or at least filmed in Philadelphia. Well, I feel like I've said Philadelphia a lot of times just now. It feels weird in my mouth.
Live from the Spectrum, it is Butts in Seats. For more info on Tag Team, head to IMDb, and of course I will actually include a link to a webpage with a written review of Tag Team, fan website, so I'll include that link in the show notes. And guys, thank you very much for listening in. It's our first review. We are back, we've done it, we've gotten through the tough part of the first review, so I think we're going to have a lot of fun heading forward. Brandon, thank you, dude.
Yeah, totally.
It's been good, man.
This was a lot of fun. I watched this episode a bunch of times in preparation for it, trying to get a feel for it and everything so that I would be comfortable with it. And usually when I do a show review or a movie review, we do it while watching the show and then we pause it, and so it's fresh in my memory. So this was a different experience, but it was pretty cool.
I've never done the commentary type review or podcast yet, so maybe one day we'll be able to do that. It's just tough when you want to get the audio right and everything, and then playing it at the same time, and you want to hear the audio of the film, and it's tough. So
you gotta do something that is very familiar to both of the people, because I heard one where I think it was on That Man on Fat Man, and he did a commentary of the movie Clerks, and both of the people, they lived in separate areas, so they were doing it over Skype. So they just tried to match up the beginning of the movie, and they both knew it really well. So it was pretty cool, but it was a different kind of thing too. So that would be a lot of fun to do.
Well, if we find somebody that's devoted enough to Butts and Seats, devoted so much that they will actually make a video review, OSW style, out of this particular one, if you want it, they go for it. It's not as long as our pay-per-view one, so it's not as much of a daunting task. I'm no good with video. That's why I stick to producing audio, but go for it if you want to, and you want to chop it up, go nuts. It's more content for the world to enjoy, so I'm cool with that. And get your plugs out there quickly, because I know wifey's home, you haven't seen her in ages, so you want to spend time with her. Get your plugs out the way. Get your plugs out the way, and we can wrap it up, and I can stop being tongue-tied.
Stolen Data Tapes, motorcultural.com/stolen, motorcultural.com/tapes is every single episode of Stolen Data Tapes, my podcast, where we discuss movies, comics, art, whatever the fuck I want to talk about. And Josh has been on there, episode number 32. Kinder from Sagopod has been on there, episode number 23. We've had a lot of people on there. It's been a lot of fun. So check that out at Dank Williams on Twitter, which I haven't been on there in a long time. So give me a reason to go back.
Yes, very cool. And you can find me on Wrestle Radio Australia. Just check that out on TuneIn Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, or fnx.network. That's where you can find Wrestle Radio Australia with my show, the flagship, WRA. You've got Healing Out with Muhammad Ali Vaez, former OVW champion, former TNA and WWE developmental wrestler, and current scout for Global Force Wrestling. And a shout out to our good mate Adam Brooks, who's wrestling this weekend over in PWX in North Carolina. So finally getting his name out to the States.
Get him,
Brooksy. Go, Brooksy.
Yeah.
That's right. And you can find me on Twitter at JoshJD Armour. You can find Butts in Seats at Butts in Seats Pod. And you can find us on Facebook. Just search Butts in Seats. And dude, Brandon, thank you very, very much. A big thank you as well to all of the listeners that have stuck around, and some 200 odd downloads for the Reboot ep. So just a massive thank you. I can't believe that so many people stuck around and weathered the storm of no
That's
audio.
Awesome. So awesome.
It's brilliant, and I'm glad that you guys are hopefully digging Brandon, and we'll go and enjoy some stolen.
If you're not, I will come and find every single one of you, Jay and Silent Bob style, okay? I have the capabilities.
You guys are toast.
You're toast.
Done.
All of you cocksuckers on the internet, you will be the ones who eat the asshole or something. I can't remember what he says, but anyways, you get it. You get what I'm talking about.
Thank you very much, everybody. We will see you on the next review. Oh, and a shout out to Frank as well.
Shout out, Frank.
Hope you're well, buddy.
I think we body slammed the podcast.